Are you one of those people who constantly turns down opportunities to make those presentations? All because you get really uptight before you go into a presentation? Well, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'd like to be able to share with you 5 personal tips of mine on how you can instill calmness and confidence before you go and do a presentation. My name is Roshini Ganesan. I am from the LOA Center SG. Some of you may actually know me from the various workshops I do at organizations, or perhaps you know me from one of my meetup groups that I organize. Well, today I would like to talk about how do you build calmness and confidence. Now, people often tell me that before they do a presentation, they get these butterflies in their stomach. Have you heard about them? Have you felt them before? Well, I've got good news and bad news for you. The bad news is that you never quite get rid of butterflies. And believe it or not, people like Oprah Winfrey and even Frank Sinatra talk about the fact that even till today, well, Frank Sinatra, may his soul rest in peace, is no longer with us. But he always talked about the fact that he always got butterflies before he went on stage. So the bad news is that butterflies don't quite go away. The good news is that we can get those butterflies to fly in formation. So how do you do that? Well, here is tip number 1. Prepare, prepare, prepare. So what do I mean by that? The level of calmness that you feel before a presentation is very much related to how prepared you are. So do consider who the audience is that you're going to be presenting to. What sort of information do they like? Do they like numbers? Do they like their information presented in charts? What sort of questions are they going to ask? And if you can actually draw up a list of questions for every point you're going to share with your audience, list down the possible questions that might come up and prepare those answers, your sense of preparedness is going to go up. And I promise you that's going to bring lots of calmness into your system. My second point is practice. It is the age-old mother's tip that the only way to perfection is through practice. So it is only if you are volunteering for those presentation roles are you going to be able to get the practice. But then there are other safer environments that you can go to as well. How about joining the Toastmasters? I, for one, credit a lot of my confidence as well as my presentation skills to the Toastmasters. There must be a club near you. All you have to do is Google, find out about the ones closest to you, go and check them out, see which one fits your style, fits your personality. And I always say go for the ones where you notice there are some very good speakers, because when you join Toastmasters and do your prepared speeches, you get immediate feedback. And you do want to get feedback from people who know what they're talking about. So that's my second tip. The third tip is this. A lot of times it is all up here. So whilst we might feel the butterflies in our stomach, it is our mind that needs to be worked on. So for my third tip, I would say be careful about the chatter and the type of language that you use in your mind. For example, I cannot. I know I'm going to trip over. I know I'm going to fumble over my words. I always make a fool of myself. When we use words that are very negative, we are actually creating images in our mind of failure. And our mind has this interesting way of creating self-fulfilling prophecies. I'm sure you've heard of those. And what happens is it then gives us the evidence that, you see, I am not so good after all. So if you can change your language, remember, Henry Ford was the one who said, if you believe you can, you are right. If you believe you cannot, you are also right. Tip number 4 is to actually energize our bodies. Now, you'd be probably thinking, energize my body? Yes, because there is a very interesting connection between your state of mind and your state of body. So if you started making your body more relaxed, what's interesting is that your mind is more relaxed. And when your mind is more relaxed, you will feel a lot calmer. So do make sure you warm up your body. Tip number 5, and this is my final tip, and it's a good one. It's called visualization. I strongly recommend you visualizing your presentation before you go into your presentation. Now, at the end of this video, you will see a link you will be given a link that you can download um, a document that gives you a step-by-step process as to how you can do visualization. But allow me to just share with you that visualizing means that you have to visualize yourself doing something well, which means that you would actually imagine yourself presenting in the room that you're going to be presenting. Imagine yourself seeing the audience, and you can hear your voice, and you can hear the wonderful variety in your voice. You can see the gestures that you're making. You know exactly where you're going to move and when you're going to move at the different points of your presentation. And just by visualizing yourself doing perfectly, and of course don't forget the thunderous applause at the end of the presentation, it's going to help you feel calmer. This is one tip that I would say has really helped me in a lot of my public speaking moments. So friends, stop yourself from taking on those projects of presenting for your team or for yourself, because if you're not being seen, then you are disappearing. So get your calmness in order. All it takes is preparation, practice, as well as managing your self-talk, energizing your body, and visualizing. So why not take some time today to think about what are those opportunities you can make to start presenting. And on a final note, go Google Toastmasters and join Toastmasters. Till my next blog, have a wonderful day.